Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it. So as a lot of you in this room may be data scientists. And let me get this out of the way. 1 second. And so as a data scientist, there's this idea of the perfect problem that you might want to solve. So it kind of looks something like this. The situation where you have a lot of data, there's a real problem that you can solve with that data. Ideally, something where you can be your first customer yourself so that you can understand what you're doing. A situation where there's no bureaucracy. Also, you can use familiar tools, and somehow when you build this data product, there's some kind of platform that can reach a massive audience and collect feedback. And you want to be able to do that with as least amount of time and expense as possible, and there's some way to monetize that. So like, does anybody work on something where they have all of these things? Can you raise your hand? Because if you don't want to, just find me. I don't want to talk to you if somebody has a situation like this. But I'm going to present something to you that I think actually hits all of these. So that's like a really high bar, but I'm going to try. Okay. So since it's a lightning talk, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but so a lot of you in this room who do data science or otherwise use GitHub. And actually, a lot of the data from GitHub is public and open and available. And what I mean by that is, let me just show you a quick example. So here's a little screenshot of an event payload that is received into this database I'm going to talk about. So this is when an issue is edited. And so you get this metadata, you get the action is edited, and you get like all this metadata about it, and you get the body of the issue. And the point of this is there's actually this really cool database in BigQuery, that's what this blue icon is, where you can get this data. And you can, there's issues, there's code, there's all kinds of stuff, almost all the things that happen on GitHub, they're stored in this database, and you can query it with a SQL-like interface. So there's abundance of data, and there's actually, you can tease labels out of it if you want as well. There's also a really cool GitHub API. So you can use a REST API, and you can take automated actions on GitHub. So I'm going to show you an example. But you can do this yourself. You don't have to deal with any bureaucracy. You can use familiar tools. You can use any programming language of your choice, because you're just making REST API calls. And then if you build something really cool, there's a platform called the GitHub Marketplace where you can launch it to a massive audience, and if people think it's really useful, you can have your app for free, or you can monetize it if you want. You can charge people. Okay, so what am I talking about? This sounds very abstract. So about a couple of weeks ago, Michal and myself and Jeremy, we built this very hello world example using these components that I just described, so that the open source data set and the REST API. This is a very simple hello world example. You build a GitHub app that automatically predicts issue labels on GitHub. So Zach wants to make the side background black, and then the issue bot comes and labels it automatically as a feature request. And then you can also get feedback. So that's really cool. And similarly, there's another one, someone wants to update thumbnails. The issue bot labels as an enhancement. And so actually, we built this in a weekend using Python and Flask. And I'm going to show you places where you can get all this. All of this is open source, end-to-end tutorial with a blog post, and all the code is available on GitHub. You can also install this as well on your own repos and try it out yourself today. And so if you want to know more, you can go here and get all the resources of all the things I just talked about, the code, the blog post, the data set, how to do it, very detailed instructions. I think you might enjoy doing that.
Awesome. Thank you, Hamel.